Welcome to Cravings Control for Fat Loss. I'm your host, Laura Cavallo, former sugar binger, overeater, and yo-yo dieter turned fat loss and cravings coach for hundreds of busy women. Here at Cravings Control for Fat Loss, I'll be sharing mindset, movement, and metabolism strategies for those who are ready to ditch the fat diet cycle and slim down without counting calories, tracking points, or giving up any of the foods they love. Get ready to embrace progress over perfection, grace over guilt, and bring curiosity and learning to the inevitable ups and downs of your life. Expect a decrease in your cravings while seeing and feeling an improvement in how you look, how you feel, and your overall quality of life. I am so excited you're here, boo. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Cravings Control for Fat Loss. My name is Laura Cavallo, your cravings coach. And today I want to share a little bit about my experience in the fat loss space and kind of going on my fat loss journey when I finally had stabilized my cravings, stabilized my hunger, and some aha moments that I had really along the process. And these are things that, I wish I knew sooner. But again, I've taken everything I've learned over the last 10 years and I'm sharing it with you so that you can take the guesswork out of your process. You can get results faster. And, I don't want to say you're not wasting your time, because even a quote unquote bad experience or unsuccessful experience is valuable in itself. It can teach you about what doesn't work and what you liked or didn't like. Nevertheless, I think that it is powerful to hear from experts and professionals in the field about what worked for them and what didn't, so that you can also take some of what I'm sharing and kind of ask yourself some of these same questions within your own context. Now, again, what works for me may not work for you, right? Obviously, there are scientific processes that when it comes to achieving fat loss. So the bases are all there, but in terms of the individuality, things will be a little bit different. So I want to share 3 things that I wish I knew sooner. And this is going to be part 1. And then I will also create a part 2 on some of the other things that I've kind of learned along the way. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a moment of your time, because if you're someone who is currently looking to lose inches and slim down and shed some fat, or you just want to get your hands on my proven fat loss strategies that have helped my clients lose up to 10 pounds and 10 inches in 3 months without counting, without tracking, and without measuring, then you need to mark your calendars for Monday, June 12th, because I have a very special new program coming that I am very excited about, and you are not going to want to miss it. Follow me on Instagram or get on my free email list to be notified of the new program details. You can find both of those links below. So the first thing that I wish I knew sooner was that exercising more and eating less is not the permanent fat loss solution. And I think a lot of us assume and have thought that this is the way to get to fat loss. And from a scientific perspective, yes, we want to be burning more calories than we consume. We do need that calorie deficit in order to see weight loss and fat loss. But when we exercise more and we eat less, we're doing those 2 things together, it can create this really big calorie deficit, which will create hunger, which will increase cravings. And depending on the type of exercise and depending on the type of food that you're eating, it can exacerbate cravings, hunger, and those sensations a little bit more, making it more challenging to do for a longer period of time. Now, I'm not saying that this can't work for a week or 2, right? We see bodybuilders and figure competitors exercise more and eat less all the time, but that is sort of a different lifestyle, right? That's a different commitment level. They have coaches. They're doing things very tuned in and dialed in. And there's a large amount of sacrifice that happens. And if they tell you that they're not hungry and oftentimes starving, they are lying. So when it comes to fat loss, we want to make sure that, yes, you're definitely going to be hungry. Yes, you'll have some cravings, right? But we don't want it to be so disruptive to your just day-to-day life that you feel like, oh my God, I can't do this. And then you end up overeating and binging. So while exercise more and eat less can work for a short amount of time, it's not the long-term permanent solution. And so that's something that was like a big light bulb moment for me. For one, I was using exercise to create that calorie deficit for a long time. And then I was under eating because I thought that I had to like take out all these foods. And these two sort of like extremes really impacted me pretty poorly. And so now I know that when it comes to marrying exercise and nutrition together for fat loss, we want to focus more on exercise as the builder, as the tool, the modality that helps to build lean muscle tissue, that helps keep your muscle tissue on your body and keeps your metabolism healthy and flexible, versus trying to burn the most amount of calories with exercise. Okay, so you see that sort of difference. It's shifting your mindset and your approach on exercise as the builder, as a maintainer, as the support system of your metabolism through resistance training, strength training, and movement, versus using exercise as the calorie burner. So focusing on exercise as the builder and nutrition, using different nutritional strategies to create that slight calorie deficit so that over time you can sustainably lose weight without feeling these drastic impulses of cravings and hunger. So that is one thing I wish I knew sooner, because for 5 years I was like, just exercise more and eat less, right? Like, and I would tell that to my clients, like, just move more and eat less, like, duh. And there I was trying to do it and then like overeating and binging on the weekend. So it's like, that was not working. The second thing I wish I knew is that the scale doesn't measure true fat loss. There are clients of mine whose bodies look completely different, so different. Their waists are more trim. Their glutes are more shapely. Their arms are more shapely. They have lost inches around their whole body, and the scale has not changed. And this is because when we go for fat loss, we want to see inches come off, and we want to see clothes start to fit better and your appearance to change in photos, meaning when you're doing progress photos. That does not necessarily equate to the scale changing. Now, if you're someone that has more weight to lose, over 20 pounds, 25, 30 pounds, then yeah, the scale will budge. That is weight loss. It's not fat loss. When you are going for weight loss, you can literally just do cardio and eat less, right? Number one, and you will see the numbers come down on the scale, okay? When you do that approach, you're also losing muscle mass. You're losing water, you're losing fat. When we go for fat loss, we want to retain as much muscle mass as possible. So that's why we want to strength train, and we want to use nutrition to slim, and we want to see your body changing through measurements and photos and how your clothes fit. That's going to be true fat loss. For so long, I was obsessed with the 1 or 2 pounds I was constantly gaining per week, or gaining and losing, or, trying to get below 140, or, oh God, I'm up to 155. Like, I gained so much fat. Like, no, you don't gain fat in 2 days. Okay, that's just all the booze you drank over the weekend. So I wish that I just had not given the scale so much power over every decision I made, over my mood, over how I went about my day. And now as a fat loss coach, I can confidently say that we're helping women with true fat loss through our process, our strategies, and we're seeing those changes come in through measurements, through progress photos, and sometimes the scale. If you're enjoying the podcast, it would mean so much to me if you took less than 2 minutes to give us 5 stars and submit a quick review. Your feedback helps other women who are looking for help with their cravings and fat loss goals find us more easily and benefit from the free content we share. Thank you so much. It truly means a lot. The third thing that I wish I knew sooner when it came to fat loss was that you cannot ignore your lifestyle habits when it comes to fat loss. Many of us think that it's just about exercise and diet when it comes to fat loss. And it's like, well, I just have to eat better and I have to exercise. And like, that's what I need to focus on, right? And that's what I thought for a long time before I learned and I got educated and I started practicing on myself. And then I started helping my clients with their results. But the truth is you cannot ignore things like sleep, stress, and even your social relationships when it comes to your fat loss progress. If you're not sleeping, your body's not going to be able to rest, digest, and heal. Okay, it can be more inflamed and you can hold on to more belly fat, which is going to add inches around your waist. Sleep is vitally important, not just for fat loss, not even for fat loss, just for feeling fucking good and your quality of life and not predisposing you to health issues like Alzheimer's and heart disease and things like that. The second thing is stress. Okay, the more stress you have, again, the more belly fat you might have, the more wired your body is, the less enjoyable of a fat loss process you're going to have. And then your social relationships. These are also really important, right? The people you surround yourself with. It could kind of make or break your progress. Meaning if you have people around you that are big drinkers or, big smokers even, or they're not really active and they don't understand maybe your goals, it might be a little harder for you or a lot harder for you to kind of reach your goals. I'm not saying it's impossible by any means. I have clients whose partners don't have the same lifestyle habits as them, but it has definitely been harder for them. So I just don't want you to ignore these elements. I remember I was working really hard in the gym Monday through Friday and then partying with my friends on the weekends. I would have shitty sleep on the weekends, and then it would impact my sleep throughout the week. And I was so stressed out that I would have anxiety attacks that felt like heart attacks. And I just kept hammering away at diet and exercise without taking care of these pieces of the puzzle. This is something I wish I had known sooner, but very grateful that I learned quickly. And so I wanted to share that piece of information with you. So those are the 3 things I wish I knew sooner. And this is part 1. I am going to follow it up with a few others, but I want to know your thoughts. Do you still have some of these thoughts, ideas, or beliefs, or does anything stand out to you that I shared that you're like, I kind of like still thought this, or I thought that back in the day too. And I've realized that, I had to start focusing on sleep, or, I stopped using the exercise more and eat less as like my fat loss solution. And, I started doing measurements instead of using the scale, or, let me know like, the scale, like I have still such a stronghold with it. It's really tough for me to let it go. I want to hear how this episode resonated with you and anything that you want to share on it. So hit me up on Instagram, LauraCavallo __cravings_coach. And I will talk to you soon.